Imagine reaching a charging station with just 5% battery left and you find a car that is fully charged but the owner is not there, or you see an ICE car parked in an EV charging spot. Today we are talking about public charging etiquette in India, unwritten rule that every EV owners must follow. Hello everyone, welcome to another insightful episode on the GreenNClean YouTube channel. My name is Vittal. EV adoption rate in India is increasing and the public charging stations that are added are quite adequate. I don't say it's great, but if you have a car that can give you 450 kilometers of range, then you can pretty much travel anywhere in India today. The public charging infra can improve, but what is existing is already quite adequate. So we need to make the most out of the available charging options that are there in India today. And we can make that happen by following some etiquettes or best practices at public charging stations. And today's episode, we will talk exactly that. So let me get started. Okay, the first best practice, no icing on EV charging stations. What I mean by that is that some ICE cars being parked at EV charging stations. Many ICE car owners don't know that there is something called as public charging stations for EV. So they might have parked their cars unaware that there is a charging gun there and occupying a spot. Or sometimes it could be that all the other parking spaces are full and they find an empty charging space which is actually for EV, and they just park their cars there. So if you are an ICE owner, please don't park at EV charging spots. And if you are an EV owner and find such cars, try to find the owners and talk to them politely and explain why they should not they should not park at these charging stations. Number 2 on my list is use the right charging gun. And what I mean by that is every car has a limit on how fast it can charge, whether it's AC or DC fast charging. We'll only talk about DC fast charging because at public charging stations, you are mostly charging at DC speeds. So many EV owners probably don't know what their car supports in terms of the DC fast charging capability. So some cars, if some cars may only support up to 30 kilowatt, or some may be supporting up to 60 kilowatt. So know your car's maximum DC fast charging capability and connect the appropriate gun. For example, if you have a 30 kilowatt capacity car and you find a charging spot with two guns, one supporting 30 kilowatt and the other supporting 120 kilowatt, don't connect your car to 120 kilowatt because you're not going to get 120 kilowatt when your car itself supports only 30 kilowatt. So use the other gun 30 kilowatt and let somebody else who has a car that can extract 120 kilowatt or higher than 30 occupy the other charging. And I have seen in some cases some Tata Tiago EVs being connected to the 120 kilowatt chargers when the other slow speed chargers are free. So please try to stick to the right gun according to the DC fast charging capability of your car. And if you're liking this content or want to see such content on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Next on my list is don't occupy the spot after 80% charging is done. That's because most cars considerably slow down the charging speed after 80 or after 90 because they have to do something called as a top cell balancing. There are some cars which pretty much do at the same speed or don't considerably slow down after charging 80%. So those cars it is fine, but a lot of cars slow down considerably after reaching 80 or 90%. So be considerate. If somebody is waiting for their turn, don't waste their time and your time by trying to charge 100%. You don't probably need 100% pop up every time when you're on the move, so you can charge up to 80 and then go to the next station if you need and charge again. So don't waste your time. I have experience where a car owner was ahead of me charging and he went from 95% to 100% and took nearly like 35-40 minutes to just charge 5%, and it's really a waste of somebody's time as well as a waste of the CPO's capability to dispense the units because your car is just consuming very slowly. I think CPOs can solve this problem by charging based on time instead of based on unit consumed. That way people realize that they are paying way too much for just slow speed charging, 5% charging, and then move away. Next on my list is move out after your charging is complete. There are cases where the charging is complete but the gun is not disconnected. If you have connected the gun and you're heading out somewhere, make sure that you are within 5 minutes of reaching your car. Ensure that the notification is set. Some CPOs do call up when your car reaches 100% and it tells you to move away. Some CPOs give a notification on your phone. So do observe the charging status of your car and make sure that once it is reached 100%, you disconnect without wasting other people's time. The next item on my list is follow the queue system. I have not seen like a queue in public charging stations, but I do see people commenting about this fact. Maybe I've seen it only like 2 times out of 25, 30 times that I've charged publicly. But if you find like guns occupied and other cars waiting, try to follow the queue system. Find out who's the last person in that queue and assign some sort of a number for you, or just have an understanding that you are the next one, and don't try to fight or argue or bully to get to your charging spot. And the next up is don't unplug somebody else's car. Nowadays, many cars come up with the locking features, which means that once you connect the gun and you lock the car, nobody can unplug your gun. But in case there are some cars and where you can unplug the car, don't unplug somebody else's car or try to unplug somebody else's car, because that's not a good practice, or because that's not a good behavior. So don't try to unplug somebody else's car. Wait for them to unplug, or find out where they are if you are waiting for your charge for your spot. Next up is emergency crisis situations. There could be scenarios where somebody else has just come up, you are charging your car and somebody else has just come up, and then they might be having some kind of emergency. They may be heading somewhere. It may be a doctor who is heading for an important surgery. It could be somebody who's injured in the car, or a pregnant woman, etc., etc. So if you find that there is a genuine case of emergency in front of you, do let your spot, do give your spot to them so that they can charge quickly and move out. You can wait a little bit. I'm sure emergencies take priority, whether it is at the charging spot or any other situations in life. So do give out your spot if there is an emergency for another person. In fact, I saw some cars, some nice EV owners who have put um, a, um, a label on their car saying that in case of emergency, call me at this number so that I can vacate the spot. So that's very nice of such owners. Next on my list is plan before you go. Most of the times you would have seen the public charging stations ahead of starting the journey. So you would have done some trip planning. Try to see who is the CPO where you are going to charge, and make sure that you have their apps downloaded, you have the wallets loaded. Because if you don't do, then you'll end up connecting the car, connecting the gun, and then downloading the app, filling the wallet, etc., etc. It will take good 4 to 5 minutes, sometimes more. And don't waste your time and somebody else's time. Go to the charging spots prepared with the apps installed, with enough balance in the wallet, and start charging. Next up, don't use the emergency button that is there on the charging gun or the charging station. Most of the charging stations have a provision to press the emergency button in case there are real emergency. Sometimes you might have to press it to release your gun or to do some kind of troubleshooting. But if you do press, make sure that you switch it on again, because if you press emergency button and leave the station, then the charger will show as offline in the app, and somebody else might think that that charger is not available, or there is a power failure, and miss an opportunity to charge there. So don't use emergency buttons unnecessarily, but if you use, make sure that the charger is back online, or you have released the emergency button. Next up, when you are parking for charging, make sure that you park the car properly inside the markings given in the bay. This is a problem when you have like 3 or 4 spots for charging, and somebody has not parked their car properly. Then instead of 4 cars being charged, only 3 or 2 may be charged. This is also a problem because different cars have charging sockets at different locations. Some have near the bonnet, some have on the right side of the car, some on the left side. So when you connect your car, make sure that the next gun that is free is in such a way that another car can be parked and they can charge. Don't just be very selfish and park your car in the most convenient way and block the spot for others. Next on my list is keep the area clean. Make sure that the gun is put back in its place and not just thrown on the floor. I've seen sometimes the wires just hanging around on the floor. These cables are pretty long, and make sure that they're not just dangling on the ground. Sometimes I had to make sure that I don't reverse my car onto the cable and break the cable and things like that. So keep the area clean and tidy. If there are restrooms near the charging spot, make sure that you use the restroom properly and flush it, etc., etc. Just leave it in the same way as you have received it. That's a very important aspect. to keep the charging gun and the area in a usable way. That's all I could think of for today's episode. If you know some more practices that I might have missed, do let me know in the comment section. In the end, while it is important to build the right charging infrastructure, it's also important to build the right charging best practices or etiquettes. Be the EV owner that other EV owners respect at charging stations. Thanks a lot for watching this episode. See you again in other episodes of GreenNClean YouTube channel.